Mrs. Crystal Nicely.
Good morning, Chairman Murray and members of the committee. Thank you for inviting me to share me and my husband Todd's experiences with you today. My hope through my testimony today that those looking in will understand my frustration and heartache. Ever since my husband was injured, I have assumed a higher responsibility to care for him and support him as we transition into a new life. My husband lost his arms and his legs while serving his country in Afghanistan during a combat patrol through the village of Lakari, which is in the southern Helmand province. Todd was hit by an IED. It has been a long journey since that day in the early 2010, and you would think that it would be easy for someone to lose hope and motivation after such a catastrophic injury. But my husband has been a fighter since day one. In recovery, he displayed the same irresistible warrior spirit for which the Marines are so beloved. First fighting off infection and disease, and then working aggressively with his physical medicine and rehabilitation. He continues fighting through the progression and prosthetic training, and also fighting for me and our future together. The community of wounded warriors at Walter Reed is diverse, and each Marine has their own particular needs. Many of them are fortunate enough to be accompanied by their loved ones. For most of the family members, we were thrown into this new role, unexpectedly and unprepared. We have discovered that we could never have prepared ourselves for what we face on a day-to-day basis while caring for our loved ones. Many of us, after left our lives back home and assumed a new role at Walter Reed. Life here isn't a picnic. There is not much my husband can do without me or someone assisting without his prosthetics. Todd is unable to perform many of the very basic activities of daily living and that people take for granted. We attempt to function independently, but the reality of his injuries requires that I or someone be at his side. This is our new norm. For me, I'm not only my husband's caregiver, non-medical attendant, appointment schedule, cook, driver, and groomer, but I'm also his loving wife, faced with my own stresses and frustrations. To be clear, this is not an issue of but I'm also his loving wife, faced with my own stresses and frustrations. To be clear, this is not an issue of being overwhelmed with caring for my husband. But what is upsetting is the lack of support, compassion, and benefits for these individuals. It needs to be just a little bit easier. For the family members, we must go through a very tedious process to serve as a non-medical attendant, especially at a time when we must oversee all other parts of our households and our lives. That I have to continually reapply to keep serving as a non-medical attendant feels as though I am being judged on my love and care for Todd. Helping him through his treatment is what I want to do, but I need the system to work with me to do that. It's almost disheartening to think that they believe someone else, no matter how willing they can be, can care for my husband more than I can. As caregivers, we leave our jobs and schools, and there are those who have children to look after as well. We leave all of this to inherit another full-time job. I rely on compensation that is provided to non-medical attendants to assist maintaining my household. With Todd's injuries, the bills did not stop coming, and in fact, it has gotten more expensive. We are grateful for what assistance we do get from the Marine Corps. But had we not been greeted by a host of people who wanted to assist, we would have been lost in the recovery process. Although my husband is one of only 4 surviving quadruple amputees, his struggles and hardships are very similar to many wounded warriors. The process of transitioning out of the military has been particularly difficult. Todd has been a part of an integrated disability evaluation system, which I understand is supposed to be faster, more efficient way to complete evaluations and transition out of the military service. That has not been our experience. At one point, a simple summary of my husband's injuries sat on someone's desk for almost 70 days, waiting for approval. I thank Chairman Murray for helping get the issue resolved, but it should not take me talking to a United States Senator to help my husband. More importantly, what about all the other wounded Marines who have not had the chance to ask for that kind of help? Coordination of care for Todd has also been a problem. There seems to be so many coordinators that they are actually not all on the same page at this time, doing opposite things. Though she was trying to help, I rarely saw my federal recovery coordinator, who seemed to have too many people she was responsible for. This lack of communication has also extended to benefits and programs. I have received very little information on how to participate or enroll in what is offered by the VA. For the benefits we know about, we are faced with problems in actually receiving them. For instance, periodically the stip and stop, which makes things very difficult. I do not know why this occurs, and it is especially difficult to get a clear definite answer, but we need help. Chairman Murray, I appreciate all that is currently being done to assist future wounded warriors and their families. As for me, I'll never be able to fully express my appreciation for what assistance we do get and for what is available to us now, because every little bit counts. I hope my testimony today has been helpful to you as you continue working to resolve these issues. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Crystal, thank you so much for your courage in being here today and sharing your story, and I really appreciate all you and your husband have done to help educate me about what you're going through and so many others are. So thank you for being here.